Thursday night football preview, and no, not quite the usual suspects. I'm filling in for Jason Cooper here today. Suuma, I think he's somewhere in the Galapagos Islands sipping margaritas until 4 a.m. because that's the time I received a text from him last night. But nonetheless, hopefully he's enjoying his vacation. We've got a decent game ahead of us here tonight. Packers and Lions. Before we get into matchup stuff on this one, Suuma, just general excitement about this game because we've had some stinkers in the NFL this year. We've had some unbelievable games, including one that Pizzola was on live stream for the other day with the Cleveland Browns. How are you feeling about this game tonight? How does this rank on your excitement meter?
Excitement meter, I would probably say pregame 9.5 of 10. Great matchup. I would say we had some interesting or fascinating matchups recently, like Browns Steelers, for example. The one Thursday night Browns Broncos was extremely interesting. Bills Niners was over pretty quickly with like all the Niners turnovers, but I think in recent weeks we cannot really argue about the games on primetime, and tonight I think this might be a really, really good one.
We interrupt for a word from our presenting sponsor on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, the FanDuel Sportsbook. Bet the NFL season on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because there's such a wealth of markets available and such a wealth of options available to you from a betting perspective, and so often you can find the best prices in market on the FanDuel Sportsbook. And to add on to that, right now, all customers get a profit boost every single NFL game day. That means you can pump up your gridiron winnings multiple times a week. For Thursdays, there's a no-sweat, same-game parlay, and 30% profit boost token. FanDuel has tons of ways you can get in on the NFL action. You can get it on money lines, spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with super simple live betting, lightning-fast bet settlement, and instant withdrawals, FanDuel makes betting on the NFL easier than ever before. Just visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to download FanDuel today. Must be 21 plus and present in select states and 18 plus and present in DC. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Yeah, you just put the kiss of death on this game here, Suuma. Oh, we can't complain about the games. We've been getting good ones. Tonight's going to be a good one. Yeah, if this one goes sour, people should remember this video and come back, and it's going to be your fault that this one went that direction. But let's get a little bit more into the details of tonight's game outside of the excitement meter. We've got the Packers and the Lions going head-to-head here in Week 14. What are you looking at between these two teams that is actually making you so excited about watching this one here tonight?
First of all, one thing I want to add is that there is some decent playoff leverage. So if the Packers win tonight, the Lions have an extremely tough schedule. And I mean, if the Packers win, everything's wide open in this division. And I mean, the Lions, when you look at that schedule, they could easily lose one or two more games. And then all of a sudden, the team that was so dominant for most of the season might end up being a wildcard team. I don't think that's out of reach, or that's impossible. I mean, tonight the spread is basically between 3 and 3.5. It's not like they are extremely favored tonight. So if they lose, everything's wide open in that division and in that playoff seeding. What I like about the matchup, I want to talk, or let's say anchor toward the matchup a few weeks ago. We had this already at Lambeau Field. Wasn't a great weather game, and it was the game where there was still some uncertainty about Jordan Love starting. He had that knee injury. And earlier in the week, the line was, I think, Lions -3.5. And then later in the week, when it was public that Jordan Love would start, we saw this line going down below the key number of 3. And the Lions won 24-14. But I think that the final score was a little bit misleading. It was a bad game script for the Packers, and I think they got unlucky in a few situations. Like I said, John Love was still banged up. I think that one interception he threw, we could argue that a healthy John Love doesn't throw that one. Lions defense was extremely good on third down, on like all the high leverage downs. That John Love pick six, Green Bay missed a field goal. They went 1 of 4 in the red zone, and I think they had like twice as many penalties than the Lions. So on a different day, if things go slightly different, I think the Packers will make this a very competitive game and have a shot at winning. And entering tonight, I think the biggest storyline, you will have heard about it before this week, but it's the Lions injuries, especially among the front seven. Left tackle Taylor Decker will be out as well, but their defense has been absolutely getting destroyed by injuries. I will just read out the list right now of all the guys that they have lost since early in the season. Defensive ends, Marcus Davenport, Aiden Hutchinson. Defensive tackle, Mikhail Wingo, Levi Onwuzurike will be out. DJ Reader will be out with a shoulder injury. Defensive end Josh Pascal will not make it. So that's 6 defensive linemen from their starting rotation going into the season. And they also lost 3 linebackers, Derek Barnes, Alex Anzalone, and Malcolm Rodriguez. So let's say there were like 11 or 12 guys in their starting rotation among the front 7, and 8 of those guys will not be playing tonight. That's a significant loss. I think that their defense was a little bit overrated to begin with, because they looked extremely well against, let's call it, inferior offensive opponents. But I think tonight they will absolutely have their hands full against a very good Packers offense. I think that the Packers will try to capitalize off of their run game, play action game, screen game. I think Josh Jacobs could have a very good day today against that front 7, and I just think they will test them out early and often. And if the Lions can take away the run game and the screen game, I think they are in for a very long night today. Personally, I like the Packers here, getting 3/3.5. Market has been between the 3 and 3.5 all week long so far. And I think there's some value on the Packers. I just think that their offense has been coming along, and I'm just too concerned about the Lions injuries on defense for the Packers not being able to hang on. I think that their offense should have a very good game. And I think this might be the game where Jared Goff, unless in recent weeks, might need to do a little bit more.
And we're seeing 3.5 sort of across the board there. Suuma, you did say something well, you said a few things that were interesting. First of all, when you said, the big story I thought everyone was going to be talking about, I thought you were going to say the Jahmyr Gibbs locker room leaks of the whiteboard in the background and stuff. But no, the injuries are definitely a major factor here tonight. As you talked about Josh Jacobs and how that matchup was going to go and what you're kind of expecting from them, I kind of wanted to know if you've got any props that you're looking at for tonight's game, obviously breaking down how this may affect the Lions, who may benefit for the Packers. Is there anyone in particular that you're looking at tonight to have a big game?
Yeah, Josh Jacobs. I like his rushing yards over 71.5 on FanDuel just recently. Like I said, I think that Matt LaFleur, he's one of the best play callers in the game right now, and especially when it comes to designing a run game. What he did this season with or without John Love in the run game is just superb. And I think when you consider their matchup with such a depleted Detroit Lions front 7, I think they will test that early and often. And I think Josh Jacobs will get fed on the ground and also in the screen game. I like his rushing yard prop over.
Over 71.5 rushing yards for Josh Jacobs, minus 113 right now, courtesy of our friends over at FanDuel. Suuma, I'm sorry, I'm not offering too much to you or to the viewer like Jason normally does in terms of my prop or SGPs or anything like that. I don't have any. But as for your SGP, can you walk us through what it is that you're looking at tonight and what we could be building over on FanDuel right now?
Yes, like I said, I'm expecting Josh Jacobs to have a very good game. I will start with Josh Jacobs, combined all rushing plus receiving yards, 125 plus. I combined that with Green Bay Packers money line. And then I also threw in David Montgomery, alt rush yards 70 plus. And I think that was 22-1 just recently.
So then David Montgomery, alt rushing yards, as I get the final leg, and you wanted to go 75 plus on this, or on this one, Suuma?
70 plus, yeah.
70 plus, sorry. 70
Yeah.
plus. There you go. There's your 3 legs. Josh Jacobs, 125 plus rushing and receiving. Packers money line. Montgomery, 70 plus rushing yards. Alt pays pretty much there, 22-1. Suuma, I like these picks. I like the breakdown of tonight's game, and I will be betting this same game parlay myself. If those of you who are watching this video are going to be tailing, make sure to hit that like button on this video, subscribe here to the channel, and let us know in the comments what you like, what you don't like. If you agree with Suuma, if you disagree with Suuma, he's going to read all of the comments and take them personally. So make sure you let him know your thoughts on tonight's game as well. And if this game ends up being a stinker, make sure to tweet at him and let him know that it was his fault because he projected an exciting one here tonight. But Suuma, I appreciate you taking the time to do this here. You enjoy the game. Are you going to be watching this one live, or are you getting up to watch this one the next day? Like, what's the breakdown of the Thursday night football for you?
Thursday night football means I will likely fall asleep before midnight, and in the morning I will make a big time coffee, and then I will watch the 40 version.
Okay, that is probably the better way to do it, rather than just burning yourself out. Suuma, thank you very much. As always, thanks to everyone who watched. Again, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Back for a Thursday night football watch along right here on this channel tonight. Thank you to everyone who watched. We will see you tonight for another Thursday night football watch along.